Urgent Cleveland Browns fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Cleveland Browns updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Browns fans, today we're diving deep into a topic that's been buzzing around Berea and the NFL circles for weeks now, and trust me, it's one you won't want to miss. We're talking about the quarterback situation for the Cleveland Browns this offseason, a storyline that's shaping up to be one of the most intriguing and consequential in the team's recent history. The Browns, as many of you know, have been navigating a complex quarterback landscape, especially after the turbulent 2023 season and the injury saga involving Deshaun Watson, who, as we all feared, suffered 2 consecutive Achilles tears, effectively ending his season before it even really started. That left the Browns scrambling, searching for answers under center, and it's no exaggeration to say that this quarterback room is among the most crowded, competitive, and unpredictable in the NFL right now. In the mix, you've got 2 seasoned veterans and 2 promising rookies, all vying for a spot that could define the team's future for years to come. Leading the veteran charge is none other than Joe Flacco, a name that, for Browns fans, carries a lot of history and a lot of memories. Flacco, who's now 40 years old, was brought back to Cleveland this offseason, and it's an interesting move, to say the least. The Browns signed him to a 1-year deal worth $4.25 million, a contract that looks like a classic veteran insurance policy, but also one that raises questions about his long-term role on the team. Flacco's return was seen by many as a stopgap, a reliable presence in the quarterback room, someone who can step in if needed, especially given the uncertainty surrounding Watson's health. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox pointed out something that might make Browns fans sit up and pay attention. Knox believes that Joe Flacco might actually be the odd man out when it comes to the roster cuts this preseason. Imagine that. The seasoned veteran, who just last season finished with a solid record of 4-1 as the Browns' starting quarterback during a patchwork season, could be the first casualty of the team's roster trimming. Why? Well, it's all about the team's long-term planning. Flacco, despite his experience and leadership, doesn't have the same long-term value as the younger guns, especially considering he's 40 and probably only has a year or so of high-level play left. And, let's not forget, the Browns are also looking ahead. They've traded for Kenny Pickett before drafting 2 rookies, Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round and Shedeur Sanders in the 5th. Both rookies are unproven at the NFL level, but they represent the future of this franchise's quarterback room. The Browns aren't planning to carry 4 quarterbacks into the season, that's almost certain. So, the question becomes, who will stay, who will go? And if Flacco doesn't impress in camp or if the team believes that the younger guys have more upside, he could be the guy who's shown the door, saving nearly $3 million in cap space. Now, let's talk about the man himself, Joe Flacco. If you've been following his career, you know he's had a roller coaster ride of a journey through the NFL. Born in Audubon, New Jersey, Flacco burst onto the scene with the Baltimore Ravens, where he became a Super Bowl-winning quarterback in 2013, led that incredible playoff run, and established himself as one of the league's most reliable passers back then. Over the years, he's been a journeyman, bouncing around teams, often serving as a backup or a veteran presence. His stint with the Browns last season was particularly noteworthy. After the team's many injuries at quarterback, remember, Jacoby Brissett and Dorian Thompson-Robinson also saw playing time, Flacco stepped in during a tough stretch and proved he could still command an offense. He finished that season with a winning record, and more importantly, he became a fan favorite in Cleveland during that final stretch. Fans loved how he brought stability and calmness to the team during a chaotic period. His leadership, experience, and ability to step up when needed earned him a lot of respect from players and fans alike. That's why the Browns decided to bring him back this year, hoping he could serve as a reliable backup and maybe even a mentor for the younger quarterbacks. But, as we all know, NFL rosters are highly competitive, especially at the quarterback position, and every preseason is a test. Flacco's veteran presence doesn't necessarily guarantee a spot, especially when the team has invested in their future with younger options like Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders. And speaking of those rookies, Gabriel, who was drafted in the 3rd round, has a lot of potential. Coming out of the University of Oklahoma, he's known for his quick release, accuracy, and mobility. He's a guy who could develop into a starter down the line, but the question is whether he's ready to take that leap now or if he'll need some time to grow. Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders, was a surprise pick in the 5th round, but his college production at Colorado showed flashes of talent that intrigued NFL scouts. His game film reveals a quarterback with good arm strength, some improvisational skills, and the ability to make plays under pressure. The Browns see potential in him, but like Gabriel, he's raw and will need development. Then there's Kenny Pickett, who was acquired before the draft. The Steelers' former 1st-round pick has shown flashes of promise but has yet to fully establish himself as an NFL starter. Browns fans might remember that Pickett has a good arm, decent mobility, and a football IQ that suggests he could be a quality NFL quarterback. The team's strategy seems to be building a competitive room, one where each player pushes the others to improve, but ultimately, only one or two will emerge as the primary options for 2024 and beyond. Now, going back to Flacco, if he can impress in training camp and preseason, he might just hold on to that roster spot, especially if the Browns coaching staff values veteran leadership and stability. But if he struggles or if the team feels that the younger guns are ready to take the reins, he could be released early, and that would mean a significant savings for the team. It's a classic NFL storyline, really. The veteran who's been around the block, fighting for a last shot at relevance, versus the young prospects who are hungry to prove themselves. And in Cleveland, that battle is playing out right before our eyes. Looking at the bigger picture, the Browns' quarterback situation also reflects the team's broader philosophy. They're aiming to build a roster that's competitive now, but also sustainable for the future. They've invested in their defense, with stars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, and in their offensive line, which is one of the best in the league. Now, it all hinges on that quarterback room, whether they find the right guy to lead the team in the coming years or whether they need to make tough decisions in camp to shape the roster for the long haul. And let's not forget about the pressure of expectations. Cleveland fans have been hungry for a winning team for decades. They're tired of the heartbreak, the near misses, and the frustrating playoff drought. The quarterback position is always under the microscope, and with the recent injuries and the uncertainty surrounding Deshaun Watson's health, the spotlight on whoever ends up under center is even brighter. Every pass, every decision, every game in preseason and training camp can swing the narrative, and fans are eagerly watching to see who will rise to the top. In the end, this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal in Browns history. The decisions made now about Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders, and the rest of the roster could set the tone for the team's future for years to come. Whether Flacco makes the cut or not, his story this offseason highlights the unpredictable and fiercely competitive nature of NFL rosters, especially at the quarterback position. Browns fans, you know how emotional and passionate this team can be, and every move in this offseason feels like a piece of a larger puzzle that's slowly coming together. The hope is, of course, that all these pieces fit perfectly and lead to a successful season, a playoff run, and maybe even that elusive Super Bowl title we've all dreamed of. So, as we gear up for training camp, keep an eye on Joe Flacco, on Kenny Pickett, on Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and all the other young talents trying to make their mark. This quarterback battle isn't just about who throws the ball best in August, it's about the future of the Cleveland Browns, about reclaiming their spot among the NFL's elite, and about finally turning the page on decades of what-ifs. Browns fans, I know you're excited, nervous, and hopeful all at once. That's what makes this team so special. And trust me, the story is far from over. We'll be here every step of the way, bringing you the latest updates, analysis, and inside info. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.